Think of a deadlock like four people, each holding one key and waiting for another key, locked in a perfect circle. All progress drops to zero. In an operating system, this state is a deadlock. It occurs when a set of processes becomes blocked forever, with each one waiting on a resource held by another process in that specific set. A standard delay resolves as the queue moves. A deadlock remains a permanent, inescapable standstill. Everyone is waiting, and no one can proceed. Operating systems require strict logic to prevent the lock from occurring, rather than relying on guesswork or reboots to untangle the mess. To build that logic, we must construct the formal system model for deadlocks and isolate the four conditions required for one to exist. Unless we can accurately map the topology of how components interact, we are powerless to keep the system from freezing. Every operating system relies on the interaction between two foundational entities, active requesters and passive commodities. The active requesters are processes, the executing programs attempting to complete a task. The passive commodities are resource types. These have a fixed number of available instances, whether that is a single physical printer or multiple identical blocks of memory. To interact with a resource, a process must follow a strict, unvarying three-step lifecycle. First is the request. The process asks the operating system for access to a specific resource instance. Second is the use. Once granted, the process performs its operation with the hardware or memory block. Third is the release. The process voluntarily frees the commodity for others to access. This architecture rests on a baseline axiom. If a requested resource is currently unavailable, the process has no choice but to wait. Every complex action in an operating system is tightly bound by this rigid, unavoidable cycle. System architects map these interactions using a primary geometric tool called a Resource Allocation Graph, or RAG. This graph uses a specific syntax to visualize the system state. Circles represent active processes, and squares represent passive resources. The first connection type is the request edge. An arrow pointing from a process to a resource means the program is actively blocked, waiting for access to that commodity. The second connection is the allocation edge. An arrow pointing from a resource back to a process indicates that the resource is actively held and currently in use. In a healthy system flow, requests are met, resources are allocated, and the edges disappear as instances are released. The resource allocation graph translates invisible system states into strict geometric rules we can track. Look at this four-node graph. The primary topological trap we scan for is the cycle. Process 1 holds resource 1, but requires resource 2. Process 2 holds resource 2, but requires resource 1. They have locked each other in a loop of cross-dependency. If there is no cycle in the graph, a deadlock is mathematically impossible. However, a cycle does not automatically guarantee a deadlock. The outcome depends on the resource instances. On the left, each resource contains exactly one instance. If every resource in a cycle is a single instance, deadlock is absolute. Because there are no spare parts, those two processes are permanently locked with no hope of outside resolution. Now look at the right side. The cycle remains, but resource 1 and 2 each have 3 instances. Here, the cycle represents only a potential deadlock. If an external process like P3 finishes its work and releases its instance, the system can fulfill P2's request, dissolving the closed loop. While cycles serve as the definitive warning sign, the internal instance counts act as the actual trigger mechanism. For a single instance cycle to trap a system, the underlying architecture must permit 4 specific states to converge. A deadlock only occurs when 4 criteria, known as the Kaufman conditions, hold true simultaneously. Returning to our deadlocked graph, the first condition is mutual exclusion. The resource is strictly non-shareable. Only one process can hold the allocation edge at any given moment. The second condition is hold and wait. A process stubbornly grips at least one allocated resource while simultaneously extending a request edge for another. The third condition is no preemption. The operating system cannot forcefully take a resource away. The process must surrender the allocation voluntarily. The fourth and final condition is circular wait. A closed chain of dependency exists, where each process waits on a resource held by the next, tracing a complete loop. These 4 unique conditions serve as the exact, unavoidable mathematical prerequisites required to induce a total system crash. Deadlock exists if and only if all 4 Kaufman criteria are actively maintained. This provides our primary engineering solution. If an architect can guarantee that even one of these conditions fails, deadlock becomes impossible. If we simulate an operating system intervention by allowing for preemption, the operating system forcefully revokes the resource, and the cycle breaks immediately. With the blockage cleared, normal flow resumes. Process 1 acquires what it needs, finishes its task, and releases its resources back to the pool. Deadlock is a calculable architectural state, one we can model, graph, and ultimately engineer out of existence.